and welcome to day number 10 of our Christmas Advent yoga sessions. The hat is now back, but we are today going to be performing a little core sequence that is going to strengthen your core muscles in order to ensure that you're not relying on your back, which can often lead to some extra stress and tension and back pain, which can be avoided if you are engaging your core when we are practicing our flow. So these little exercises are something that you may want to repeat, as this is only a short class, so you may feel more of a benefit by pausing and rewinding the class at the end so you can repeat it a couple of times. But if not, you may want to just give it a go and see how you feel. Don't worry if you are shaky at any point. I can guarantee that my core will be working and shaking too. So let's come and lie down on our mats and just find a comfortable position to begin with. You will not need a block and a strap at all today, so just make sure you have some water nearby, and I will see you there. So just arriving on your mat, finding a comfortable position, shifting maybe from side to side, placing the palms down onto the earth and begin rocking the knees just from side to side to massage through the lower spine, connecting your breath. And begin to draw the right knee in, interlace the fingers around the shin and extend the left leg. You can keep the foot resting on the floor or keep it elevated, entirely up to you. Begin to switch legs, drawing the left knee in, flexing the feet and placing the right foot on the ground or keeping it elevated. And just continue this movement for a few times, drawing one knee in at a time. Interlace the fingers around the shin, connecting with your breath. Ensuring that you're really rooting down so that the lower spine is not lifting up. So you're really engaging your lower abdominal muscles. You can begin to lift the upper body up as well if you want to, drawing the knee in towards the forehead, starting to activate the upper abdominal muscles here. Again, ensuring that you're not holding your breath. Slowly moving. And then just drawing the knees in towards the chest. You can take the arms into a cactus position, dropping the knees to the left hand side, or extending your left leg. Allow the right knee to fall a little bit closer to the earth. You can place the hands on the stomach if you want to, and your gaze can either go towards the right shoulder or straight up towards the ceiling. Bring both knees back in. Take a clasp around the shins. And exhale as you lift the upper body up towards the knees and lower yourself back down. Let's take the knees over to the right hand side, either stacking them, perhaps resting on a block as well, and allow the left knee to come over a little bit more by extending the right leg down the mat if you want. Again, your gaze can go either place of looking up towards the sky or towards the left shoulder. And then just slowly, keeping the breath controlled, bring the knees in and start to clasp the hands around the shin, drawing the upper body up towards the knees, taking an exhale and then a deep breath in and exhale, release back down. Taking the knees now into a 45-degree angle, lift the upper body up, placing the hands behind the thighs but not creating any resistance, so you shouldn't feel any tension there, and taking the arms back above the head and lower down. Exhale, lift the upper body up again, holding the back of the thighs, and release back down. And just continuing this a couple more times, and then release the legs down to the ground, arms above the head, interlace the fingers and Really stretch the body, point the toes, take a couple of deep breaths. And just bringing the hands and the arms down beside you. You have the palms facing up or facing down. So bringing the feet to the mat, making sure they're hip distance apart. You can just about touch your heel with your middle finger. And then draw the legs up to a 45-degree angle so that the knees are stacked above the hips. Engage the core here, taking deep breaths in. And then extend the left leg down towards the ground and bring it back up to center. Start to extend the right leg down, bringing it back up to center. And then switch again and just continue this movement, bringing your knee above the hip. You can lift the upper body as well if you want to be helping to strengthen your core. You shouldn't feel any pressure in the neck if you are lifting the upper body. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Massage through the lower spine. Release the hands back down to the earth. I'm going to start with some toe taps. So bringing the knees to 45 degrees and just toe tapping down. Not really having to extend the leg too much. Just working from the knee and slightly through the hip. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Well done, everyone. Now placing the hands either beside you or just underneath the glutes, begin to extend and bend the knees, just working through the legs, sending them up towards the sky. If you tend to lift up your lower back, you may wish to put your hands underneath your glutes just for a bit of extra support. Connecting your breath. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. And then hug the knees back in. So our next one again, just placing the hands either side of you or support the lower back with just placing them underneath the glutes. Extend the legs up towards the sky and slowly lower them down towards the ground. Then draw the knees in and extend the legs back up. You can keep them at a slight bend as well. You don't have to keep them completely straight, as we haven't worked too much in the hamstrings and stretched out the legs. So slowly lowering the legs down, bringing the knees in. And then inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. And draw the knees in. If you want to rest each time, you can place the feet on the mat so you don't have to keep them completely elevated the entire time. Obviously, just by doing this, it's just going to keep the core engaged at all times. Draw the knees in again. And then again, repeating either with the hands either by your side, but this time start to lengthen along the mat first. Lift the legs up and then bend the knees. So just going in the opposite direction as last time. Again, your legs do not have to be completely straight. Just making sure you're always engaging the core. You can lift the upper body up as well if you want to. and then hug the knees in. Well done, everyone. Just a couple more exercises to go. Taking the arms above the head, again just stretching out the core. Straighten the legs, point the toes. A few deep breaths. And then lower the arms back down by your side. So bringing the feet to the mat. Again, just connecting your breath. Ensuring you're not holding any tension anywhere else into the body. Draw the knees in, place the hands down by your side, taking them back to that 90-degree angle. We're just going to toe tap down towards the ground. This time, instead of toe tapping directly down to the ground, see if you can lengthen the leg a little bit more. Not too far forward towards the end of your mat, but just maybe a little bit further than last time. One leg at a time. Keeping the knees at about a 45-degree angle. And then cross the legs and draw the feet in. Again, you can rock from side to side. Hands down by your side again. Extend the legs up towards the sky. We're going to finish with some leg movements, just lowering one leg down at a time to the mat, keeping the other one lifted. Again, your legs do not have to be completely straight. You can have your arms also straight out in front of you if you want to. And lifting the upper body is just going to really engage the core. Remembering to keep breathing at all times. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. And then draw the knees in again. Well done. You may wish just to pause this video or repeat these exercises again. We're then going to come into a short little flow. Well done, everyone. Okay, so coming up now onto all fours. Begin to tuck the toes under and send the hips up towards the sky, just working into your downward dog and just keeping my knees bent here and keeping my heels lifted. We're going to come forwards into a plank and exhale, push back. So what we're doing is just engaging the core at all times. We're not really focusing so much on our downward dog at the moment. We're just using this as a bit more of a rebound position to come into as we work through plank. But do try and send the hips up towards the sky. And this is the perfect top for you to see my flex lumbar spine, which is actually soon to be coming into a blog on my website if you're interested. And so doing this about 10 times, and then the last one hovering, keeping the core engaged, drop to the knees, and then send the glutes back into child's pose. Well done. You may wish to interlace the hands behind you. Taking a few breaths here. And then coming up back into our downward dog. Just pedaling through the legs and extend the right leg up towards the sky. Draw the knee in, hover for a moment. And then step the foot through, rising up into our high lunge. Focusing on your balance, extending that back leg, and then coming into warrior three. So bringing the hands to the heart to begin with. We then start to lengthen the arms, and we're going to just do some little crunches here, bringing the left knee in, curling up into a ball and lengthen. So this is obviously going to work your balance. We're doing this 3 times. It's dependent on your balance today. Mine's a little bit all over the place. And then place the foot down behind you, coming back into your high lunge. Drop the hands down. Extend back into Adho Mukha, downward dog. Pedal through the legs. Extending your left leg up. Draw the knee in. Gazing forwards and stepping the foot through. Rising up. Finding your balance as you bring the weight forwards. Hands to the heart. And I'm just going to shuffle back slightly so I don't touch the wall. So extend the arms forwards, draw the knee in and extend back. So our warrior 3 crunches. And then after your third one, place the foot back down, coming into your high lunge. Sink down, relax the shoulders, bring the hands down to frame the foot. Step back into Adho Mukha, downward dog. Grabbing hold of the right ankle with the left arm, just come into a little twist. And then taking your right arm to the outside of the left. There, coming into another twist. Come back to center. Working into downward dog, bending and straightening the legs. Soften down to your knees, untuck the toes. Well done. So we're now going to come into our seated balance. We're going to make sure that we are up onto our sitting bones. Ensure the spine is nice and long, feet are just planting into the ground. Taking the hands behind the thighs. Just start to come into a little lean back and forward. So just make sure you're not rounding the spine, dropping the chin down. You will come back very slightly. So start to take the hands behind the thighs, come up onto the tiptoes and lift one leg up from the knee at a time. So a bit like those toe taps we did earlier. If this is too easy for you, start to take the hands in front. And then release. Again, just making sure you're onto your sitting bones. Hands come under the thighs. Slightly draw the knees in. Slightly lean back. And you can extend both legs at the same time. Holding behind the thighs. And if that is also a little bit too easy, take both hands in front. You can do the same here. Toe tapping. Both legs down at the same time. Just cross the legs for a moment, sitting forwards, stretching out the spine. And when you're ready, coming back into that position again, ensure you're really onto your sitting bones. Start to draw the knees in and take the legs up to a 45-degree angle again, making sure you're not rounding that spine. So if you are, just come and sit nice and tall again. If you want to sit against a wall, that might help you. Just don't sit completely against it and allow a little bit of room to lean back. And have a practice coming into your boat pose. And then crossing the legs again, just stretching through the back, maybe coming into some little twists. And so just starting to come into our boat pose again. Taking the arms in front or behind the thighs. Extend with the legs bent, bringing them up, or extend all the way up. Engage the core. And then bring the feet back down. Don't worry if your core is shaking a little bit whilst you extend the legs, but just ensure that you're not rounding the spine too much. We'll go again, drawing the knees in, engage the core, and then bend the knees, bring the feet back down. Well done. So this time as well, we're going to come into a little variation if you wish to try, bringing your 2 peace fingers around your big toes and extending
one leg up and back down, just having a go on both legs. You can keep the knees bent if you can't fully extend, it's absolutely fine. What we need to try and do again is just engage the core, ensure you're onto your sitting bones and start to lengthen the legs as far as you can, creating a bit of resistance through the fingers and sitting up nice and tall. Bring the feet back down and just give yourself a little bit of a rest. So you want to ensure that you're not pulling through the arms, the upper back is not rounding. So just lengthening the back, as you can see here, not rounding through the spine. A little play around coming into our Upavista Konasana. And so you can begin to practice this as much as you want, or perhaps rewind, practicing our boat pose again. But thank you very much for joining me for today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.
Thank you for joining in today. Don't forget to hit subscribe in order to follow the remainder of our Christmas Advent yoga sessions. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.